Hello guys, hope you guys doing well. Today's topic is OOPS concept, the second class. Inherit from other classes in Python. Inheritance is the process by which one class takes on the attributes and methods of another. Newly formed classes are called child classes, and the classes that child classes are derived from are called parent classes. Newly formed classes are called child classes, and the classes that child classes are derived from are called parent classes. Child classes can override or extend the attributes and methods of parent classes. In other words, child classes inherit right. Child classes inherit all of the parent's attributes and methods, but can also specify attributes and methods that are unique to themselves. Although the analogy is imperfect, you can think of object inheritance sort of like genetic inheritance. You may have inherited your hair color from your mother. It's an attribute you were born with. Let's say you decide to color your hair purple. Assuming your mother does not have purple hair, you are just overridden the hair color attribute that you inherited from your mom. You also inherit, in a sense, your language from your parents. If your parents speak English, then you will also speak English. Now imagine you decide to learn a second language like German. In the case, you will extend your attribute because you are added an attribute that your parents don't have. Let's take a dog prank example. Pretend for a moment that you are at a dog park. There are many dogs of different breeds of the park, all engaging in various dog behaviors. Suppose now that you want to model the dog park with Python classes. The dog class that you wrote in the previous section can distinguish dogs by name and age, but not by breed. Now, we could modify the dog class in the editor window by adding a dot breed attribute, which we have created in our last class. Anyway, consider this as a new class. We'll create a new class now. Let's check out the code and start coding. Rather than editing the previous code, what I do is I'll write a new code so that will be easier for you. Dog class dog species is equal to canis def init self name age breed. I've added another breed extra. Self dot name is equal to name. Self dot age is equal to age. Self dot breed is equal to breed. Now, instance method def description is self return f colon braces self dot name is self dot age years old, right? Let's have another instance. Another instance method is def speak self comma sound. Before it was self, now it was self and sound. Now return f colon sorry braces self dot name and f return self dot name. Self dot name is a dog name says what it will say. It's a sound. What we have that is sound, right? We need only one. The instance methods defined earlier are omitted here because they aren't important for this discussion, right? That's the reason I've created a new one. Now we will model the dog prank by instantiating a bunch of different dogs. Let's execute this. We have an error there. Where is our error? Is okay, I missed a colon here. I missed the colon and we all this has to be 8 oh, 8 spaces, and this one definition has to be at the back, and this one also at the 4 space back, 8 space back. Now execute this. Right, that's successfully executed. No issues. No, no. Miles is equal to dog class miles comma o comma Jack Russell Terrier. I'll change the code. Right. Next, body is equal to dog body 9 years old and dachshund. All right. Jack is equal to dog Jack comma 3 comma bulldog. Uh, Sorry. Jack is equal to dog Jack comma 3 comma bulldog. Next one, Jim is equal to dog class and Jim comma 5 comma bulldog. Right. Each breed of dog has slightly different behaviors. For example, bulldogs have a low bark that sounds like oof, but dachshunds have a higher pitch bark that sounds more like yeah. Using just the dog class, you must supply a string for the sound argument of dot speak every time you call it on a dog instant. Right. Let's see. Let's execute this and buddy dot speak Yep. Now I'll execute this. Buddy says yep. Jim dot speak. Woof. Jim says woof. Jack dot speak. Woof. Jack says woof. Passing a string to every call to dot speak is repetitive and inconvenient. Moreover, the string representing the sound that each dot instance makes should be determined by its dot breed attribute. But here you have to manually pass the correct string to dot speak every time it's called. You can simplify the experience of working with the dog class by creating a child class for each breed of dog. This allows you to extend the functionality that each child class inherits, including specifying a default argument for .speak. Right. Now, we parent class versus class. We're still here. Let's create a child. Now, let's create a child class for each of the three breeds mentioned: Jack Russell, Dutch, and Bulldog. Okay. Right. Remember to create a child classes. You create new with its own name and then put the name of the parent class in parentheses. Now we will add three new classes of dog class. Right. Now we'll add a new child classes class Jack Russell Terrier. This is our parent class. Right. Pass class action dog pass. Execute this class bulldog is dog class parent class and pass. Right. Execute this. Now we have already run all the files. Now we can instantiate some dogs of specific breeds in the interactive windows. Miles is equal to Jack Terrier Miles comma 4. Body is equal to action body comma 9. Jack is equal to bulldog Jack comma 3. Jim is equal to bulldog Jim comma 5. Instances of a child classes inherit all of the attributes and methods of the parent class. So what we have here is an error in missing one required positional argument breed. So we have, where is the breed? All right, we have an error for the breed. We haven't entered the new code here, but here we can see the breed is there. So we don't need the breed. That's the reason it is giving an error. So what we do is we'll copy this code and we'll remove the breed from there. Then we won't be having an issue here. We'll recreate it and I'll remove the breed. Right now, let's execute this and execute this. Excuse me. Missing required positional argument breed. Again, breed. There is somewhere breed. Um, Here we don't need this, right? I'll remove this. And self is. Do we have one more breed here? Somewhere? No, no, no. Let's execute this and execute this. What happened again? He must be missing somewhere. Is it's miles. Okay, we have a miles missing one required positional argument breed. We don't have a breed, a dog. Actually, I pasted the code below the child class. We have to paste that code as the parent class above the child class. So I have pasted the code here. This is the code for this. I have removed the breed from here and I have to remove the brood at this line. Then executed this code again, like here. Execute this, execute this, execute this, execute this. Then we don't need this and execute this. What result we have is successfully executed, right? Now let's check the instance of child class inheritant miles dot species. Execute. Miles dot species. This is the object has no attribute species. Okay. Miles dot body dot name. Execute this. We have body. Now print Jack. What we have? Jim dot speak oof. What do we have? Jim says oof. Right. Is it clear, guys? All right. To determine which class a given object belongs to, you can use the built-in type. Now we can check type miles, type miles. What do we have? The miles type is main Jack Russell Terrier. Miles. We'll check where is miles. Miles is here. Jack Russell Terrier, right? What if you want to determine if miles is also an instance of a dog class? We can do this with the built-in instances. Instances mile dog. Let's see. Let's see that. Is instance miles dog. Let's execute this. What do we have? It's true, right? Notice that is instance takes two arguments, an object and a class. In the example above, is instance checks if miles is an instance of dog class and returns true. The Miles, Buddy, Jack, and Jim objects are all dog instance, but Miles is not a bulldog instance, and Jack is not a dash instance. Now let's check this out. Is instance Miles bulldog? Bulldog, right? Let's execute this. It should be a false, right? Miles is not a bulldog. Is instance Jack, come on, a shunt is false, right? More generally, all objects created from a child class are instance of the parent class, although they may not be instance of other child classes. Now that you have created child classes for some different breeds of dogs, let's give each breed its own sound. Right. Extend the functionality of a parent class. Since different breeds of dogs have slightly different barks, you want to provide a default value for the sound argument for their respective .speak method. To do this, you need to override .speak in the class definition for each breed. To override a method defined on the parent class, you define a method with the same name on the child class. Here's what that looks like for the Jack Russell's Terrace class. Let's see how it's gonna be. This is extend the functionality of a parent class. Let's move to this heading and I hit 2, that will be a small header. H2, this will be 2 means H2, right? Now, class Jack Russell Terrier dog is a child class. Jack Russell Terrier child class and dog is a parent class. Def definition speak self sound is equal to ARF. Return F colon self dot name says sound, right? Now now dot speak is defined on the Jack Russell Terrace class with the default argument of sound set to off, right? Now we'll execute this code. Now we can call dot speak to a Jack Russell Terrace instance without passing an argument to sound. We can do that, right? So miles is equal to Jack Russell. Yeah, we have already entered this, but again I am entering this line of code, comma 4. Now miles dot speak. Oh, miles dot speak. Miles says name self is not defined. Here is self thing. Right, we have to be very careful with small caps letters. In a small mistakes will give you the error, and you should not get panic with the errors. You have to fight with the errors. You have to play around with the errors. Then only you will get more perfect, more confident on that. Right. Sometimes dogs makes different barks. So if Miles gets angry and growls, you can still call speak with a different sound. Miles dot speak. Let's see. Miles dot speak. Grr. See, we have Miles says grr. Say something like that. One thing to keep in mind about class inheritance is that changes to the parent class automatically propagate to child classes. This occurs as long as the attribute or method being changed isn't overridden in the child class. For example, change the string returned by .speak in the dog class. Speak in the dog class. Now, we'll change the says change the string returned by .speak in the dog class. What do we do? We change class dog. All right. We'll copy this dog class and we'll use the same dog class here, but change the string returned by speak in the clause. Just we need to change the string that returned by dot speak, right? Definition of speak. Where is the speak? Here it is. So we are not changing anything here. Leave as it is. Do not change. And same thing is here. Do not change. On this part, we need to change the string returned by dot speak. Def speak self sound return f self sound name to, instead of says I'll update to box like this, right? Now we'll run the file. Now when you create a new bulldog instance named Jim Jack, Jim speak returns the new string, right? We already see that. Let's see. We'll create a Jim is equal to bulldog in brackets Jim comma 5, and Jim dog speak woof. Let's see. Jim says woof. Jim says woof. However, calling.speak on Jack Russell's terrace instance won't show the new style of output. Miles is equal to Jack tire. Miles comma 4. Miles dot speak. SC, what it says right. Sometimes it makes sense to completely override a method from a parent class. But in this instance, we don't want the Jack Russell class to lose any changes that might be made to the formatting of the output string of dot speak. To do this, we still need to define a dot speak method on the child Jack Russell Terrace class. But instead of explicitly defining the output string, you need to call the dot class dot speak inside of the child class speak using the same arguments that you pass to Jack Russell. Right, hope this is clear, stand. So let's end this class. It has been a long time. It's almost 30 minutes. So I'm sure you guys are getting bored. We'll end up this here. We'll continue the next oops in next session. Practice this and try to think about different scenarios, and you can practice it. It's not that hard. It's very easy. And the more you practice, the more you learn, the more perfection you get. All right, guys, have fun. See you in next class. Bye bye.